Okay, for the thing this week, we're going to talk about course copy. Okay. Now, this isn't how-to exhaustive guide on it. You probably are already familiar with the course copy tool, but there are a few nuances that I think bear some focus. First of all, you probably know this already, but when it comes to selecting content to copy into a new course, you can only pick content areas, not specific subfolders. So I actually have folders of material in here, and you don't get the choice to copy at that level when you're doing a course copy. It's entire chunks by content area or nothing at all. Okay, now sometimes you'll pick a content area and you'll copy it into another course and get a little surprised at what isn't present, because even though it copies everything in a content area, there's different levels of everything. I hate to say it that way, but there really is. For example, if you are providing links to tests in a content area and you fail to choose test surveys and pools, the link to the test is not going to copy. And even if it did, it wouldn't work, so they don't copy that. However, although that's pretty obvious, something that's less obvious is that even if you copy the content area and test surveys and pools, if you forget to include the grade center columns and settings box, it still won't copy the link to the test. Okay? So in order to get a test link to come across to a new course, you've got to have the content area the link is in, the grade center columns and settings checked, and the test surveys and pools. A similar thing is true when it comes to assignments. You can put an assignment in a content area, but if you aren't also copying the grade center columns, the assignment will not copy over. So if there's anything gradable that you're actually trying to copy from one course to another, make sure that you check that box there for grade center columns and settings. Also worthy of note is that there are checkboxes on this list for pretty much all of the tools that are in a course, whether they're available or not. So even if you've gone through and trimmed down your list under tool availability to only see the tools that you want to use, this list is still going to have other things on it that you probably aren't using. Just leave them unchecked. I mean, technically it doesn't hurt anything to check to include a tool that you're not using. Like if I'm not using collaboration settings, I could check it and it will copy over, the lack of any sessions that I have set up. But by and large, it's better to leave something unchecked. Okay? And a note about the calendar. Now that we have the new course calendar that actually picks up a lot of events from due dates on assignments and grade center columns and all those other good things that we can set due dates on, there's very little point in copying over the calendar. If you copy over those things that have due dates set, those events attached to the due date will be in the new course as well. So you don't need to copy the whole calendar. And of course, when it comes to due dates and you copy things forward to a new semester, you do have to go in and edit those due dates, at least for the time being. I know Blackboard's working on a way to make that a little simpler to manage too. Okay, so the big tip, grade center columns and settings, and otherwise just pretty much watch what you check off of this list. Oh, and one final caution. You have the option to copy forward the availability setting of a course. If you copy from a course that is available and you check that box, the new course will immediately be available. Okay? Should be obvious, but that means if you do that, the students would be able to get in right away if they're already enrolled in the course. So just be cautious about that. By and large, I would suggest not copying the availability control and just going into the new course, making sure it's all ready, and then letting it go live, okay? So there's your thing, the tweaks and gimmicks of course copy.